Kenny, start us off. Who would you build your lineup around at guard?
I'm going to go with the man formerly known as Pandemic P, Paul George. Yeah, he's passed along that title to Kristaps Porzingis now because he was clearly one of the best players in that Mavericks series. He has been playing lights out in the last two games. Of course, Game 6 and Game 7 against the Mavericks were must-win games, 44 minutes a game. But you can't argue with the fact that this guy is just shooting the basketball so much better. We know that he's a fantastic scorer. He's gone over 50 DraftKings fantasy points in each of the last three games. And it's going to be a theme for me on this slate. I'm going to attack the Hawks defense. The Hawks defense right here is the worst defense on this slate not the Hawks defense. The Jazz defense is very good. I am going to attack the Hawks defense later, but no, Paul George is playing lights out basketball right now. And I have to roster him here, and he's just making me think crazy thoughts the way he's playing basketball currently.
Nick Whalen, who must you roster at guard?
I do like the Paul George call, but I want to save a little bit of money, maybe get Paul George in my lineup alongside this guy, and that's Bogdan Bogdanovic, who's at 6,800. I think a really affordable price for a guy that doesn't necessarily have a super high ceiling, but his floor has been incredibly high. Not just in these playoffs, not just over the last couple of weeks of the regular season, but basically since the All-Star break or since he came back from injury. I think he has been Atlanta's second best player and certainly their second most important player behind Trae Young. And I think if we see Philadelphia really sell out to stop Trae Young, who burned them for 30 plus and a double-double in game one, maybe we see more Matisse Thybulle kind of shadowing Trae Young, forcing him to give the ball up. I think the guy who Atlanta is going to have to trust more is Bogdanovic. And he's been super confident all throughout these playoffs. He's been more than happy to take big shots down the stretch. I think he's, kind of had an underrated season, got off to a slow start, didn't really know his fit. They had all these moving pieces. And, some of the injuries they've had to guys like Herter and DeAndre Hunter have kind of freed things up for Bogdanovic. And like I said, he's clearly asserted himself as their number two option. So if Trae Young pulls back at all in game two, I think it's Bogdanovic that inherits some of that usage.